Hello everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I wanted to show off a really powerful Berserker build on Arcane Odyssey. I just did another playthrough on it and decided to play as a Berserker. Berserker being really fun in my opinion. I do like the idea of just punching people to death. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the main fighting style you're going to want to use for this build specifically is the Canon Fist. Canon Fist is widely looked down upon in the community as to be one of the worst fighting styles. And if I'm honest with you, I don't know why. I think it is easily the best fighting style in the game for just general content and even PvP. Range is powerful. And the thing is, comparing this to guns, you could just keep throwing the cannonballs. Non-stop. You could just keep throwing them. Now, of course, you have ammo, so you know that's kind of that's the drawback. That's the caveat. That's fine, right? That's not a bad thing because getting cannonballs is very easy. Whether you just go and buy them or just sink a couple ships, because you get cannonballs from pretty much everything. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. You will get them. Now there are rarer cannonballs, so you have like, you know, grape shots, you know, exploding shells. Heavy exploding shells. You don't want to waste these. These are like your big ticket items. These are rare. Now these ones I understand why people wouldn't want to use them or people don't like it because of that. Don't waste your exploding shells because you might want to save them for a tough enemy when you're in the Dark Sea or you're fighting a boss. Now for me personally, what I use normally are light cannonballs because each cannonball is completely different on how you use them in combat. The light cannonball can be thrown the furthest and is thrown the fastest compared to other cannonballs. So the heavier the cannonball, the slower you throw it, and the you know, it won't go as far. So that's cool. Each cannonball also has its own blast radius when you throw them, so you can hit things through walls depending on which ones you're using. But I primarily just run around using these things for general content. Now, to put it simply with you, this build can easily farm pretty much any kind of boss you're fighting, and it makes a fucking joke out of King Calvus because I first tried him with this build, and King Calvus is usually notably a really tough boss when you first fight him, mainly due to his high health pool and incredibly high damaging attacks. So, you know, I'm rocking around and I'm doing about 124 damage per hit, and remember this is ranged, so I don't have to get close to these guys if I don't want to. It's really easy to make distance and get away from things if you don't want to get up close. The only downside to to Canon Fist is when you use your abilities, it will take up a cannonball, right? It will use your ammo, right? It's because, you know, that's the point of the fighting style. So you won't really ever see yourself using your abilities because you don't need to. You don't need to use your abilities. That's the thing. Once you get this, it is already really OP, right? That is what makes it so good. And most people don't use it because they like ship combat and they like to keep their cannonballs, and that's fine. You don't have to use this fighting style. But this is my build video. So, anyways, it just kind of consists of simple stats. Of course, just, you know, maxed out strength. You know, your Berserker, no magic, normal stuff. So now we're going to move on to the second fighting style, being Thermo Fist. This is one of the most common fighting styles. You'll see this everywhere. It's very powerful, very good, very strong, very simple fighting style. You know, you get the heat, you do fire damage, you know, normal shit, you know, not really anything special to it. This is going to be your secondary fighting style. It can be any fighting style. It does not matter. Can be any fighting style. I would recommend avoiding Sailor Fist because you don't want two fighting styles that require you to use consumables, because you will be, you know, DVNO if you run out of those consumables. At least I think that's what Sailor Fist requires. It requires seawater, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is a pretty big pain in the ass to get. The thing about Canon Fist style is you could get it very early on. I don't innately recommend getting it early on, because cannonballs at the early stages of the game can be pretty expensive. I got this style around level 60 when I was up at the Stepstones after I fought Lord Elias. So yeah, this fighting style makes everything a cakewalk. It doesn't really matter what the content is because it's so easy to cheese with it, since it has such high, you know, explosion radiuses. You can actually fucking murk this guy with just cannonballs. He stands still so often And you just keep throwing them. Look, he's already in second phase. You can just keep throwing them. It's so easy. And just like that, he's dead. I was standing still that entire time and I beat him. Now, some of you may be quick to say, well, you can just do that with other fighting styles. So you could just run up to him with Thermo Fist and just beat the hell out of him. The thing is when you make an enemy chase you, they will just stand in a straight line and come straight towards you, right? That means that you can get risk-free damage and just murk them, right? The thing is if you get close to them, they're going to move around, they're going to jump, they're going to do an AoE attack, they're going to knock you away, and it's more of a pain in the ass, right? The secondary fighting style I personally recommend, will be Thermo Fist, because Thermo Fist, in my opinion, for a like hand-to-hand fighting style, is the best fighting style in the game, right? Now, whether or not you disagree, that's fine. You don't need to agree with me. The heat, the speed, the damage, it's all there, and it's a reliable fighting style, and again, this fighting style can be used to do any kind of content. The best one for just playing the game is always going to be Canon Fist, without a doubt. Canon Fist, you know, there's an asshole down there, you know, if you're running Thermo Fist, you could just do a shot and have them come to you. And then you have to get close to them, you waste energy, you know, whatever. But this, you just... And he's gonna bleed, and he's dead, right? I didn't have to do anything. I just throw 2 cannonballs at him, and he's dead. Now, if you want to waste your heavy exploding shells, which are the strongest of the cannonballs, go ahead. Look how much damage they do. That's a lot of fucking damage, right? Yeah, I don't waste those. I never use them. I keep them only for like really strong enemies. Save them for the Dark Sea. You wanna use them on enemies in the Dark Sea, because the enemies in the Dark Sea have like 4,000 health or something like that. So you need to put out a lot of damage, otherwise you're going to get overwhelmed. Now, speaking of the Dark Sea, I will show off this build in the Dark Sea, because this build really does shine with PVE content. Now, these enemies here are all pretty easy. Like General Argos is nothing really of sort of a easy boss. He's not hard. He's just kind of there, in my opinion anyways. I don't think he's very difficult. I think they need to increase his damage a little bit, because he really doesn't do much during the fight, and he's really easy to beat if you're, you know, any kind of build. And the only time I would say he's not is when you're like a melee only, like strictly using like combat style. But even then, you can just punch him to death, and it's pretty easy. Now, how early can you get Canon Fist, and where do you get Canon Fist? I don't want anyone asking me that question in the comment section, so I'm just going to answer it here. You can get Canon Fist here on Palo Town, sorry, and the NPC that gives it to you is going to be like about right here in the middle of the island. He's going to tell you to go and get 2 bounties. Now, some people think that you need to go and kill players with bounties. That is not the case, right? If you go to the bounty board, make sure you listen, you go to the bounty board. If you scroll down to the bottom of the bounty board, it will say like a one name, right? It'll just be like Meadows or Catch or DeAndre, Chad, Griffin, something like that. It'll just say that. And then under it will be a level, and it'll say like level 120, level 60, level 50. That is just an NPC that you go and find. It'll tell you where they are. You go there, you kill them, you get the bounty, and then it counts towards the quest. If you want to hunt players, you can hunt players. I don't recommend it, because the PvP in this game, in my opinion, is very bad and not fun. And people that have bounties are usually people who are max level, and if you're trying to get it early, good luck with that. You're not gonna get it early if that's the case. Unless you have friends that can help you out, or if you ask people around, I highly doubt you will end up getting it, but I recommend just killing the NPCs, getting the bounty, and then calling it a day. And the best way to farm cannonballs for Canon Fist would be to kill other ships. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do I kill other ships if I don't have cannonballs? Use the ram. The ram is how I kill things. I don't use the cannons, like ever. These are literally just here for cosmetic reasons. I never touch them. I don't use them, because in my opinion, they're just not worth shooting. I'd rather keep my cannonballs for myself, and it's just easier that way. Now, when you get to this stage of the game, you don't have to worry about using your cannonballs anymore, primarily because, well, you're going to get so many of them just from playing the game and killing ships. Now, there is somewhat of an upkeep time, so if you're in the early stages of the game, when you get to like Sailor Lodge, I would recommend going around and killing pirates and taking their chest and farming up a bunch of cannonballs, just so you can use Cannon Fist. That's what I did, and it wasn't hard. It was really easy because the majority of pirates you will fight are on the way to other quests. So if you see a pirate ship in the distance, go and fuck them up. Go kill them, right? Who cares? So it shouldn't be that hard to make use of Cannon Fists. And please don't let people tell you that it's bad. Experiment with any kind of builds you may have or that you can think of, because it's more fun. The game is more fun when you experiment and figure out builds of your own. I will show off my gear, because I didn't do that, but my gear is pretty simple. You know, standard build, you know, a bunch of power, a decent small defense, attack size, some intensity, attack speed, and movement speed. You can change that to however you want. I do recommend, though, you want to make sure your damage is high, because the Cannon Fist scales off of strength, and you know, the more strength you have, the more damage you'll deal. This is vice versa. So try to have a lot of power, because, you know, it's going to help out in the long run. What I really don't recommend getting is, you know, defense and attack speed, since it's really not that important. When you get onto these islands, you always want to try and pay attention. Look around for the enemies, because they will like come after you like really fast. Let's see if we can fight a White Eyes. Where is he at? Oh, I think he's just despawned. I just saw him right there. Can we get a rest in peace for anyone who has thalassophobia? He probably dove under. I don't know where he went though. Whatever. Oh, there's one right over there. I'm gonna eat first. Alright. Let's go ahead and try to not piss him off, because they can see you from very far away. Let's go ahead and try to loot a little bit here, and then I will go right over there and fight him. Whoa! Now that was a big old chest. Nailed him. Alright, there we go. Yeah, don't let these guys get close to you, because they will mess you up, like, really bad. So just avoid them. I think this guy will do about 200 damage to me if I let him hit me. See, oh my god, he hurts. And he's dead. Yeah, as you can see, these guys hurt a lot, so you wanna stay away from them. Yeah, don't get into hand-to-hand combat with them. And yeah, if I were using a different fighting style, he would have killed me. All right, you need this fighting style. You need Cannon Fist if you want to do this content. Unless you're like a meta player and you know like every little nuance and like how to really use your fighting styles to best utilize in PVE. Pick up Cannon Fist, whether it be your primary style or your secondary style. It can be either one. I use Cannon Fist as the primary style because I prefer it to be that way, and I got it sooner than other ones. So yeah, you know, fucking pretty good build overall. The stats pretty standard. You know, it's a normal build. Give it a try. You know, if you're a berserker and you're just starting out, you know, give it a shot. I promise you won't. You know, you won't hate it. Anyways, guys, if you hated this video, make sure you leave a dislike and tell me why you didn't like it in the comments below. I appreciate all criticism, and I do read all the comments. Anyways, peace out.